Hey, what is up guys? So I got a very awesome deck profile for you guys today. It's going to be a Malefic Dark World skill drain, super anti-meta deck. Very easy deck to play. I would say relatively budget friendly with the exception of Vanity's Emptiness. I know it's a common card, but it is kind of still expensive. But let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile, explain all the choices as we go along. So first off, we got triple Malefic, Cyber, and Dragon. Now he's a really good card. I just want to mention first off, if you happen to have like gates out on the field, then you're going to summon this guy and then you're going to set Vanity's Emptiness, and let's say for whatever reason you activate Vanity's Emptiness because you're stopping them from summoning whatever card that they're trying to bring out or something like that. You will go very minus if they activate MST and they hit this, because not only will you lose your Malefic, but you also lose Vanity's Emptiness, so it's much safer to go for Malefic Stardust Dragon. Usually what this card is here for, I mean, I know it's a 4,000 beater, but it's basically used for advanced draw because the deck technically can be a little bit slower because I'm not playing the Recklesses in this deck, and I'm not playing the Drag Down. The reason why is because I like these cards a lot more when you have skill drain. It just works so well when you're able to just throw out like huge beaters and just game people so fast where they don't even have time to react. They don't have time to draw the MST to get rid of your card. You just win. So yeah, he's just really good in that aspect. But next up, triple Grapha. It's like Malefic Dark World, so like Grapha's a pretty good card. Next up, 3 Malefic Stardust Dragon. Basically, a lot of cards in this deck are actually used just for advanced draw because you want to speed up the deck to the point where you are able to get out a big monster and then be able to go Vanity's Emptiness or skill drain. One or the other. Basically, at that point, once you got either a 4,000 beater or a monster with 2,500, where they can't special summon and you get a monster on board, it can become a problem really fast for a lot of decks. But 3 Malefic Stardust Dragon. Another thing that's important, he protects the field spell, so that works very well when they, like, you know, try to MST this card because Vanity's Emptiness out. I don't know, someone did that earlier today, and I'm like, what? You can't. First off, that doesn't like work because, you know, obviously this card would not be destroyed because Malefic Stardust Dragon protects it. But, you know, there's always new players jumping in the game, so I figured I'd mention that. Next up, triple Snow, triple Brow, and then triple Torgrid. I know that this is skill drain Vanity's Emptiness. However, this deck is able to shut off Vanity's Emptiness really fast. All you have to do is activate the effect of gates, and then you're like, oh, it's cool, I have effects again, or I can special summon. I know that there's also skill drain. You can lance your Torgrid if you really want to, and then you bounce back for Grapha, and a lot of times you'll just like win, or your opponent will just quit once they see Vanity's Emptiness or skill drain and you got a huge monster on board. It's very difficult for a lot of decks to do anything. Next up, 1 Allure of Darkness. You can drop this if you really want to. There's like very few things I'd banish other than Tour Guide if I have like a skill drain and I really don't want to lance it. But triple advanced draw, this card is so good. There's no limit to how many cards or how many advanced draws you can use in one turn. So like if you open up with a bunch of Malefics, you can just like advanced draw all day, every day, and then at least make sure you're able to throw up one big monster and Vanity's Emptiness. That's the key of this deck, or skill drain. One or the other, you win really fast in this deck. Next up, I play triple Upstart Goblin. Just to make the deck as fast as possible, and then triple Dark World Dealings. This is another card where you can turn off Vanity's Emptiness because all you do is, you know, you send one, well, you discard one card as long as it hits the graveyard. If Grapha or something, you know, gets de-prisoned or something, nothing goes to the grave. Therefore, Vanity's Emptiness is a-okay. But something like Dark World Dealings allows you just to throw a card in the graveyard, turn off Vanity's Emptiness for a turn, and then, you know, maybe reset another one. Maybe you've got more draw power, or, you know, the ability to go gates and do shenanigans. You can also play what is it? The other one, I think it's Brawn. The one that just, like, when it's discarded, it gets special summoned. That way, you're able to just bounce back for Grapha. You know, skill drain, obviously, won't affect that. But, yeah, obviously, yeah, this will affect it. But you can turn it off very easy in this deck anyways. Next up, triple Lance is to protect your bigger monsters. Sometimes there are things like de-prison that get in the way. Obviously, yeah, you'll lose Vanity's Emptiness, but majority of the time, you're going to be able to just throw up another monster, and if you can't, then, yeah, I obviously let it go through. Lose Vanity's Emptiness, maybe set like a skill drain or something, then still throw up like a Graphic because you have Graphic for days. It's just how the deck plays. Next up, triple Gate, another card that just shuts off Vanity's Emptiness. Like, if you really just need to turn it off, I don't recommend turning it off unless you really need to, and you're about to lose. There's no really destruction in this deck. It's just meant to just go as fast as possible and just get a huge monster out, get a bunch of draw power, and simply just make your opponent quit, because there's a lot of decks that just don't have the amount of back row to keep up with it. Like, if they only draw like 1 or 2 back row and it's turn like 3, you usually can just finish them off because your monsters are just too strong and they can't do anything. They can't even establish like a board, let alone throw up like anything. And if they have back row, Grapha just goes, oh, what's up, back row, and then just pops it anyways. So next up, 3 Vanity's Emptiness, 3 skill drain, because we have to make it as anti-meta as possible. Now, a lot of times when I've been playing this deck, it's kind of painful for me to play because it's a really slow deck, and I don't really like linear slow decks, but it is, I would say, it has some like potential. It really does. It is very annoying to face against this deck. Like, this deck, it's just painful to play against. Like, if you ever played against Dark Worlds with skill drain, it's pretty hard already. But then if you're looking down on Malefic along with Grapha, and there's a Vandy's Emptiness, unless you have Dark Hole... Oh, I probably should mention, why is there no Dark Hole in here? You don't need Dark Hole. Your monsters run over their monsters, and on top of that, Dark Hole is technically a card used when you lose control and you want to reestablish control. This, you never even let them attempt to get control. At least that was the idea of the build. This, honestly, I don't know why the heck that is there. That was there because originally I was playing level 5s, and then that allowed me access for that. But the cards that are important in this are actually this card over here. His effect, I believe, does not even target, but the important cards that you need in here are 3 Stardust, 3 Cyber End, and Levier. Levier gets you back your mana stuff to bounce back for Grapha, if you really need to. It's just there. Anything else that's important? Make sure you run this card because Ophion can get kind of annoying sometimes. You can like Tour Guide and be like, Ophion, no more attachments for you, Ophion, and then you can maybe start some shenanigans maybe next turn or something like that. But this card really shuts them down. I mean, like, what are you going to do with a whole bunch of like low monsters on board, or even like skill drain? If you just skill drain that Ophion, like you just drop the 4,000 beater, be like, oh cool, what's up? Or just Grapha. Like there's just so many things that just you can just get rid of Ophion. Like it's not that big of a threat. I can't really think of any decks that could actually put up a really good fight against this, other than maybe Harpies. And Harpies, I don't know if they were considered like a top tier deck. I don't see that many people playing Harpies. But that deck obviously would, with all the back row destruction, there's like nothing you can do about it, because obviously they have a normal summon and then they're just gonna pop like skill drain or something like that, and they can go for a special, pop the other back row that, you know, basically you're not allowed, you're supposed to not allow them to do anything. But that is a deck I can think of off the top of my head that can actually combat this deck. But like I said, it's not too popular of a deck. This is not actual side deck, it's just cards that were in the older version of this. As far as the extra deck goes, like I said, make sure you play triple Stardust, make sure you play triple Cyber End Dragon. They're basically used to get out these guys and get draw power in, because you want these cards as fast as possible to make your opponent just simply look at this field and be like, oh no thank you, I'm okay on this duel. Because there are, you know, duels in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you look at your opponent's field and you're like, nope, I've had enough Yu-Gi-Oh! For today. Because you look at that field and you're like, this is just, it's too much for me to handle. But anyways, if you guys have any suggestions on improvements on this deck, like I said, it's a very easy deck to play, and a lot of players asked me to make a Dark World deck because, you know, nothing got hit in Dark World for the past, like, I don't know how many formats, and it's a pretty budget-friendly deck, I would say. Yeah, like I said, with the exception of this. And it's a very easy deck to play. But like I said, watch out when you go for Vandy's Emptiness, Gates, and the Malefic Cyber End Dragon. Otherwise, you can go kind of minus, like I mentioned. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have some fun making some people very angry, because I can already foresee people getting upset about this deck, because it's a deck where, you know, it's kind of annoying to deal with. Like, there's you look at your hand, you're like, I can't do anything. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Azneyes out.